Well, as you can imagine, in such a scenario, it's difficult to actually crunch any concrete numbers. What we've done is we did an analysis of approximately 1,000 companies that we rate across Europe, and we assessed their exposure to the coronavirus, and we classified them into three categories, so either high, medium, or low. Initially, this was started off as an exercise of measuring exposure to China, either in terms of supply chains or concrete exposure in terms of sales and manufacturing in that country. It became apparent fairly quickly that that wasn't sufficient, and that we had to look at the exposure to the virus even in other countries or companies or sectors that had actually no exposure to China at all. And based on that information, we have classified all of our sectors in Europe and globally.
Richard, my inbox is full of rating cuts for various companies that have been impacted by this virus. But what happens now when we're talking about bailout, rescue packages, all sorts of loans? What do you do as a rating agency? Because clearly this has a massive impact on the short and the medium term for some of these companies.
It does. It's not the first time that we've dealt with this kind of systemic shock before. We did have the financial crisis a decade ago and other shocks as well. The key question, I think, from our end is how long this will last. We have taken a baseline scenario and an assumption that this is predominantly something that will affect the world in the first half of the year, and that in the second half of the year things will start to normalize. Now, there will be, no doubt, there will be a lot of pressure on companies' earnings in the short term. The big question for us is what will happen longer term. Obviously, if the outbreak lasts longer than what's in our baseline scenario, then the effect on companies will be more significant, and we could ultimately see an increase in defaults this year.
Richard, very good morning to you, sir. Look, I hear everything you're saying, and just as an addition to what my colleague Karen is asking you as well, I would have thought the first question now is which credit is going to be bought by central banks? Which companies are going to have that backstop so their credit remains very low yield and has some form of government/central bank response? Has that not got to be the first question we ask before we even look at any other credit credentials?
Well, it would be a consideration. I mean, obviously, if the government steps in and offers specific support to a company, it's obviously something that we would have to consider as well. Very difficult to really assess that right now. I mean, the government is obviously going to try and keep critical services going. I can't really give a concrete view on how it's going to go about doing that. This is, as you know, a situation that is evolving on a daily basis. Things are changing on a daily basis. But I mean, I take your point that there will probably be some government intervention, and we will have to assess that as and when it happens.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.